Right. So my first question to you is, how can businesses like from within same industry, what are the different parameters on which they can perhaps differentiate themselves apart from the product?
Okay. Now, I think we, as marketing and as businesses, are in a very tough era. I sound like I'm Carl Jung or something when I say era, but I think the simple logic is that we are in a time in society where everyone is super conscious of what they do. And when I mean conscious, it's not like they are going to do like a proper research on Google, cross verify. No, it is from what they hear, from what they
Yeah.
consume. So it's almost saying everyone can be a verifiable marketer today. It's just that some choose to take the profession, some don't. And those who don't take the profession are worthy enough to just know on what merits do I choose something, on what merits do I discard something. So you
Yeah.
really can't fool the consumer per se. I mean, that's why we had the golden era of TV in the 1950s to 2000s, I say, where the norm was okay. Let's make like a ad, even though it's not let's say there's no emotionally hooking message, or even at the most you have a good product benefit, and it runs on TV for like a campaign period of let's say 90 days, or even it's a print ad. People see, people buy. That's it. There's no
Yeah.
other way of verifying certain information. I mean, so now I'm circling back to what you had mentioned about your prospect, like the paraben free, organic, and all of that. I think I'm safe to assume from what I've been hearing from the clients I've been working and from in general is that today, when you hear beauty brands saying paraben free, cruelty free, it's almost similar to how mutual fund advertisements end like mutual fund markets are subject to market risk, please take. Like it's become like almost like
Yeah.
a jargon, you have to just spill it out. But for all
Yeah.
you know, you don't even know whether the cruelty free brand is actual cruelty free.
Agree.
Now, the fine line here is that I'll give you actually a real life example. So, my sister, my younger sister, she's a big, what do you call, a beauty aficionado, if I were to call it.
Okay.
So, like right from when she was in high school, so she had no filters on what she chooses, but now she's become conscious, right, as she's grown older. So now what she does is a social analysis. I mean, between us, we know what a social analysis is. But for her, what she does is okay, if someone's going to propagate saying I'm cruelty free and this and that, her first thing, and even among a friend circle, the first thing she want to do is go to the social media and see the content they post. Do they seem organic? Like if I'm going to see 20 different posts, or suddenly I'm going to see an ad on TV which just puts up a banner saying we're organic, cruelty free, it doesn't appeal.
Yeah.
Where I think if I were to give you a real life example, are you familiar with bare necessities?
Yeah, I am. I am. I've seen their
So
ads a lot.
I'm a big fan of them because they try to make organic content. It's like let's say tomorrow, if you were to tell me why I should buy a certain product because you tried it a certain way, that's the content. So the more human content are today, the more appeal you'd feel, or the more what do you call alignment you'd feel towards it. It's
Yeah.
funny. I'm sure you and I might have come across this phrase a lot of times, especially on LinkedIn and in certain spaces where brands are trying to be more human now, and humans are trying to be more like brands now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when
Oh
we see
God, that's
brands that
so.
relate to us,
Yeah.
you just feel like, okay, that's something I go with. So that's
Yeah.
the general sphere where we are when it comes to all this paraben free, cruelty free, and all that. How can you make it believable than just a label you can put it on?
Fair enough. So I think it has to do a lot with the content that you put out
Definitely.
apart from your labels on the products. So
Hmm.
just going a little deeper into this aspect, let's pick a beauty industry, for example, or maybe let's pick up a, food category wherein we have brands like the Whole Truth that kind of disrupted the whole
Yeah.
market, right?
Mm-mm-mm.
And now we see a lot of brands coming up saying, oh, we reveal all the ingredients, it's a clean food, clean label, etc., right?
Yeah.
So apart from this, what else can they do to make themselves stand out from a big giant brand like the Whole Truth food?
Okay. Now, there isn't a black and white answer to that. I mean, if it were, I think I'd be sitting at Burj Khalifa taking this interview right now. This conversation right now. So, I think a more realistic approach that, let's say, homegrown brands can't afford, or maybe they can and they choose not to do sometimes, is a proper consumer conversation. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say, okay, now let's say tomorrow you and I decide that we want to grow. I mean, we want to start a coffee brand. Now, we both know how saturated a market is coffee, even though
Yeah.
in a demographic like India, where tea is the dominant product and coffee is a very small player, even
Yeah.
in that small player, there is high saturation, more than
Yeah.
we can even imagine. Because even as of right now, we are saying coffee. Right now, I'm sure after this conversation, we're going to see like 15 coffee ads on Instagram. Like that's how saturated it is. So now coming back to the point, let's say we start this brand and now we just know what our competitors are doing. We know, okay, maybe we can do this product differentiation. Maybe we'll bring some unique twist in how the product is used. But if I do not understand who do I identify as my target audience, and I need to talk to them. I talk to them, I can't expect I talk to 300, 400 people of them. That's unrealistic. Let's
Yeah.
say even if I talk to a core profile of, let's say, 25 people, invest
Yeah.
that time and energy. Now the thing is, you're not going to again get a black and white answer, them saying, you know what, I don't choose blue tokai and I choose sleepy all because this, so why don't you make a product which serves this, I will vouch for your product. You're not going to get answers like that. You're going to find subliminal messages which help you understand, okay, maybe from my paperwork research, I realized my brand can be in a certain positioning like this. But what I do understand, there is a certain need which is not being met. It might be niche. For all you know, I mean, now we are in an age where you have to be niche if you have to be relevant. Like
Yeah.
you cannot start and say, I'm going to be a competitor to Mama Earth, saying like I'm going to steal Mama Earth's share of mind and share of customers. Yes, you can be honest in saying Mama Earth is what's depriving me of my share because of their existing presence and what their investment is. That is realistic. But you would have to be honest enough to trust and say, okay, I do not want to poach their customers or even say that, we are one above or a cut up apart from Mama Earth in what they offer.